Hey kids, it's time for Storytime with Unky Judas. Yep, that's right. This is where I tell usually what are drug-related stories while we play Donkey Kong Country. I'm not sure where in the hell we're at on Donkey Kong because I haven't done this in a while, but we'll figure that out later. I'm going to tell the story today of, well, my journey to Cedar City just this last weekend. We have Slick here as part of the interview, just to add commentary and ask questions and make funny noises. I know I usually have the Donkey Kong Country music playing in the background, but for this particular episode, we've decided to play his music in the background. So, if you like what you're hearing, I will leave a link in the description below. Hello, Slick.
Hello.
Word. So, what was I doing down in Cedar City, you ask? Well, my band Waters Rising had a show at 3 Peaks Oasis, which is a really cool place, actually. They had a lot of space for a way bigger crowd than what we had. There was a lot of fucking wind, though, at least several days prior, so a lot of people who bought tickets didn't even come. And then when we get there, it wasn't even windy. But yeah, had been shit all day. We get there pretty late. I had camped in Levan, actually, the night before, so that's like it cut an hour or so off of my drive. Unfortunately, I didn't think to power my power generator, and you know I got a dead leg, so that's kind of made the camping that I do a little difficult, you know? And I kind of need this air mattress, and I kind of need this power generator to inflate it. So I had to sleep on the fucking ground, which really sucked. Still made it happen. Got up, did a little fishing at this pond outside of the canyon. Didn't catch anything. On my way there, I start overheating. And I go to take the cap off the radiator. I thought that I had let it sit long enough, but apparently not, and it just fucking explodes. So, I cannot find the goddamn cap for the life of me, and it's really not good to drive without the radiator cap. Okay. You can, but you don't make it too far before everything evaporates, and then you need to fill it up with water again. Luckily, I had 2 gallons, which barely made it back to Beaver. Do you even know, like, any of these cities? Like, further down south you go?
I do. It's been a long time since I've been down that way, though, but I have been there. Yeah.
So, Beaver, I don't know if you know roughly where that is, but I had just passed it, and I figured it'd probably be a lot easier to flip back around, try to get back to Beaver, and maybe buy a new cap if there's any auto part places open, which there weren't. So, luckily, my bandmates from Waters Rising were actually pretty close behind me, and they picked up a radiator cap, and I only had to sit in the parking lot for maybe like 5-10 minutes. So, yeah, we put that on. We get to the show. There's a metal band playing, which Waters Rising is not fucking metal. It's like really chill, ambient. We call it stargaze music. It's a genre now, stargaze.
Okay.
So we're playing stargaze music after this like metalcore band that's actually from Cedar City, and there still isn't that many people watching them. There's still a few like going nuts, and we're just like, man, we're gonna follow these guys up. Fuck. But apparently they were the only metal band playing. So that whole night, they've been doing music since like noon. So it wasn't like the whole fucking thing was a metal show, you know. Anyways, we get done playing, and there's this girl who is pretty attractive, and she like actually grabbed a couple other girls that I thought were friends with her, but apparently she didn't even know them, for our last song, and they all jump up on stage and they're all dancing and rocking out and going crazy. And my friends from Waters Rising, they're all LDS, and I guess not used to these sort of concerts kind of thing, you know. They don't even play bar shows, and so just to have like some hippie chicks jump up on the stage and just rocking out was really cool for them. I feel like. Anyways, they take off. The other chicks that she didn't even know take off, and it's just me and her, and we're just BSing for like an hour or so. I have a terrible radar for whether a girl's really into me or not, but she sort of seemed like it, and I'm like, man, I got an RV. That was another cool thing. I got my own fucking RV all to myself. I feel like a real goddamn rock star, you know what I mean? Like, none of my other bandmates wanted it. They didn't want to stay afterwards. So, yeah, I'm just like, I wonder if she wants to hang out for the rest of the night, you know? Maybe she'll be impressed with my rock stardom and my own private trailer and such. But then a couple of her friends roll up. One of them was the lead singer of the band that played before us. And the other was an older lady. Not really older lady, but older than the girl I was talking to. She had locked her keys in her car, and she was trying to get her to drive her back home into Cedar City to get her keys and then come back. And and the other guy was like, and we're going to drink some fucking tequila. You know I'm trying not to drink. They had a whole case of beer, and I'm just like, oh, dude, I don't know if I can do this. You know what I mean? But I want to hang out with this chick. And they're all getting in the car, and they ask if I wanted to come. And I was just, man, I'd been nonstop going until now. I kind of wanted to just go back to my RV and just hang out. And so she knew where the RV was. I told her, like, when you get back, you guys are all welcome to come hang out. If you want to drink your tequila, cool. I won't be drinking, but yeah, you guys come find me at the RV, and we got a place to chill for the rest of the night. So I go back to the RV, and I can hear pretty much the only other people camping that night that are, like, pretty close to where I'm at. I can't see them, but you can definitely hear them. And, yeah, dude, I don't know how much partying you've done out in the desert with, well, I don't know how rednecky or hillbilly Cedar City is. They don't really seem too hardcore redneck because there's sort of, like, a lot of people going through from, like, St. George and on their way to California or Nevada. So it is somewhat of a tourist town, parts of it. At least that's kind of the vibe I got. But you're still going to get some rowdy motherfuckers when they're drinking tequila out in the fucking desert. I thought Lehigh people were goddamn crazy. No, man, just listening to these people from across the way, I don't think there was a time that they weren't arguing. And you can kind of tell, like, just by the tone of voice, even if you can't hear the words they're saying, like, how close it is getting to being physical. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, having been around enough drunken belligerents, I feel like my ear can just kind of sense when, like, it's getting escalated to physical violence. And it just, like, hearing the loudness and the tone of voice, like, yeah, that's not quite fighting, That's still just verbal. He's angry. That almost got physical. It's getting there. So every time I would come back out of my trailer, the level had just escalated more and more and more, and it's getting to the point where one of the girls over there is getting involved, and she's screaming at one of the guys, and it gets to the point where you can hear that she is hitting somebody, and she's fucking pissed. And I hear people yelling the same name that I'm pretty sure was the name of the girl who I was talking to earlier. So I'm sitting here like, oh, fuck, is that the same girl? And possibly the same guy? There was a bunch of people over there. Anyways, right after that, you hear somebody say, like, hey, leave her alone, or leave them alone. They're going to go handle it themselves. Let them handle it. Like, seriously, maybe 20, 30 seconds later, you could tell a fight went down. It did not last very long, and that's usually kind of how that goes, you know? Like, either a couple punches get thrown, and one guy really got his ass kicked, and he's done, or they both just kind of say, fuck this. You know what I mean? Somebody breaks it up or something, and nobody really got their ass kicked. Nobody won. This was the first. In very, very short period of time, did I hear one of the guys come out screaming, "You pop my fucking eye out, motherfucker! You pop my fucking eye out!" And I'm just sitting here like, the whole night been listening like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. You know, I hear that and oh, fuck me. The whole time wondering, should I get involved too? But at the same time, I don't know if my involvement would exacerbate the situation. I'm not very good at, I don't know. I've broken up a few fights, but I've also made them worse. And I especially don't want to be spending the rest of my evening dealing with the fucking cops, you know? And it also sounded like that was all the fighting that was going to happen, you know? Dude gets his eye knocked out, and they're kind of done. Now, the rest of the fucking night is bickering about what just happened, you know? One friend bitching out the other friend for what he just did, you know, saying other friend trying to get guy with his eye knocked out to get in the fucking car and go to the hospital, but he is kind of in the attitude that, like, everyone there is against him, so he won't get into anybody's car, and he's just sitting there talking more and more shit to everybody else there, and you can hear everyone just getting more and more frustrated with this guy who just got his ass kicked, and if he continues in the path that he's going, is about to get his ass kicked again. You know, you hear this guy like, what are you going to do, kick my ass again? And I'm like, dude, probably. Shut the fuck up and get in the fucking car. I almost drove over there and said, guys, would it help if somebody who's not involved in this situation at all, who's totally sober, just drove this dude to the hospital? And I still kind of feel like maybe that's what I should have done. Because if what I think I heard had actually occurred, this dude probably doesn't even want to go to sleep tonight, or else he might not fucking wake up. You know? Either way, you heard later on the two of them still going at it. One of them, apparently the guy who had hit him, being extremely apologetic, saying, I love you to death, I love you, bro, I'd never want to, I didn't mean to do this, I don't even remember it, Going from saying he didn't remember it to saying, I warned you several times, which kind of proves you do remember it. And then the other dude just not wanting to hear anything he said, and just, fuck you, motherfucker, fuck you. Making all sarcastic fucking whiny bitch. Like, thank you so much for inviting me out. I had such a good time with you and your fucking psycho friends. And I'm just like, man, you kind of remind me of a guy I know. In fact, a lot of the voices that I was hearing over there sort of remind me of people that I party with regularly. But I never heard any of them knock somebody's fucking eyeball out. So I wake up the next day. Dude is still complaining about it the next morning. Still can't see him, but I can still hear the guy from across the way talking about how he just got his ass kicked last night. So I get out of there, stop off at the local fishery. It's just called Lake by the Hill, and didn't catch anything. I run off to a place a little further up by Parowan, and as I was telling you, I fucking killed it on the tiger trout, which is a species I don't catch terribly often, and you usually got to go further out to go get them. And every one of them was around 17 inches, which is a pretty good size. Most of the tigers I've caught up until now weren't that big. So I would almost say this is like the best I've ever done on tiger trout.
Yeah, that's a big fish.
Yeah, I showed you the pictures.
Yeah.
And the prettiest one I actually let go because it was just too fucking good looking of a fish. I love eating tiger trout, so I kept the other 3. The limit's 4. But this one was just too fucking pretty of a fish to eat. And so, yeah, I let him go. And I caught like 4 in under 2 hours. I was going to camp there, and I decided, you know what? I already caught my limit in a very short period of time. Why don't we just go home early and sleep in our own bed tonight? And I kept thinking about this girl, but at the same time, I couldn't help but think in the back of my head, what if that was still her that was involved with all the shenanigans I heard later? And what if I had gotten into that car with them? Like the whole night I was kicking myself in the ass. Like I should have just gone with them, because then I would still be with her, and we would be hanging out probably the rest of the night when we got back. And now I'm just sitting here wondering if she's ever going to come. She probably isn't. And then, yeah, later that night when I'm pretty sure I heard her name getting screamed, I'm just like, you know what? I probably just dodged a pretty big bullet there. Even if she's cool, I would not have wanted to be involved with that whole fucking situation for the rest of the night. Because had I got entangled in that, that would be where the rest of my night went. and probably wouldn't have resulted with any sort of romance. It would have wound up with just a bunch of drama and bullshit. So, yeah. Anyways, we're on our way home, me and Carlos, and it's starting to get dark, and I'm like, pray that we make it home without any drama. Unfortunately, once we make it past Fillmore, I get the gas light, and I'm starting to run out of gas. And also, unfortunately, the night before, everything was wet. It had rained, and so I don't like doing this, but I had to use my gas to light a fucking fire. So I didn't have very much gas left in my gas can. And there's nothing. Cleartel Nephi. That's a huge distance. Luckily, what was left in this gas can got me close enough to the first Nephi exit that I still was brave enough to walk on my dead leg all the way to the nearest gas station. Get to the nearest gas station, my fucking card doesn't work. I don't know why. I go to the next pump, card still doesn't work. There's money in this card. I use a card that shouldn't have any money, and somehow this card works. So I get a little fucking gas if I can, get back to Carlos, put the gas in. For some fuck reason now my dome light won't go off, and at this point I'm just like so exhausted and frustrated and just upset. You know the classic move when you're upset in your car, you kind of like bang your hands on the steering wheel. My hand slips. It hits the light stick, breaks that shit off. So now I'm even more fucking pissed. I kind of get it back into the socket, but now I can't turn off my dome light. I can't turn off my fucking brights. I can only use my brights now, and anytime that I use my left or right blinker, I might turn my lights off completely. Can't do anything about it. I tried everything I could think of. I'm like, fuck it, I guess I just gotta drive from Nephi back home with both my brights and my dome light on and have to try and avoid using my turn signal. So, like, I didn't even do any of this shit. By the time I pulled out of that gas station and hadn't even gotten off the fucking on-ramp, barely even on the freeway, I'm already getting pulled over. I just got done saying, what the fuck is next? And I get pulled over within minutes. And why did he pull me over? For not stopping before the sidewalk right outside that fucking that gas station. Yeah, like one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever been pulled over for at like 12:30 in a gas station in Nephi. I'm like, no, you were just a bored motherfucker and had nothing better to do. So he can, as he's like trying to explain to me, he just sees the look in my eye and he just stops and he's like, are you okay, dude? And I'm just like, no, I'm not okay. I start fucking just letting this guy have it. You know, just telling him all the shit I just told you except for in the heat of the moment. And he's just sitting there like, oh, okay, all right. Okay, yeah, calm down. Yeah, I understand. You know, and I'm like, but I'm not finished. I'm cleared out from fucking Cedar City. I fucking like no sleep. I just want to get fucking home. And, you know, I just walked like 2 miles on a dead leg. And yeah, what else is kind of funny? I've already told a friend of mine just earlier this week that if you want to get out of trouble with a cop, sometimes if you just vent all your problems on them, and, you know, just seem too frustrated for them to even want to deal with you, they just tell you, all right, go ahead. Sorry you're going through that, buddy. Good luck. And that's pretty much what he did. He even tried to help me with my car problems and, you know, gave me a few suggestions that were totally useless and still just, I just want to make sure that you know that all cops aren't bastards. And I'm just like, then why did you pull me over? For fucking not stopping at the sidewalk. God. But thank you for not being a bastard. So I made it home. Car not in the best shape. I'm not in the best shape. I think, all right, the night's fucking done. Right? Wrong. Leave it to me to just add the icing on the cake. In getting all my stuff out of the car, I had to gut and prepare the fish. I was going to eat one tonight, put the rest of them in the freezer, and then use my fishing knife, which was in the car in a backpack with all my stuff. So I open the car. The backpack is already opened. I barely even grab it, and the fishing knife slides out of the backpack with the sheath, and then the knife slides out of the sheath. I already told you about this. And it lands on the handle perfectly upright, straight the fuck up and down, with the knife pointing upwards, just like a cartoon. Just the coincidence of the angle and how this fell out and how my hand came down, in surprise as you go to try and catch it, very abruptly, very, very fast, just wham, right on the fucking tip of that knife. And yeah, like I told you earlier, fuck, dude, like I looked down and I was expecting to see an exit wound on the other side of my hand. What sucks is, like, it's a very small wound. It doesn't look that bad. Yeah, right there, see it? But, I mean, it's a really thin blade. Fishing knives are, like, really kind of slender. And so, I mean, even if that would have gone all the way through, it would be an extremely small entry and exit wound. But, yeah, I could feel how goddamn deep it was. I'm sitting there with my hand clenched, just like, fuck. Because I could tell the second I let go of that shit, it was just going to start fucking gushing. Yeah. So I pretty much just didn't let it go for, like, almost the rest of the fucking night until I finally felt confident enough to open it up long enough to put a bandage on it. And then the next day, I could barely use my left hand, and for some reason, my right hand was numb too. And I still went to band practice. And that's the story of Cedar City. That there's the tale, Arliss. Remember to hit like and subscribe to this channel. And thank you, Slick, for joining us.
Yep, it's been my pleasure.
Stay tuned for what's in store next on the Dregs Productions YouTube channel.